Riverside.
So many claps.
Coming up on Verse Chorus Verse in season 1 of this amazing cast, we covered the year 1997, and since then, in the back of my head, an album I once cherished has been on my mind. Was it really as good as I remembered, or would it dull from its obvious moment in time? Let's find out next. Hi, everybody. My name is DL, and I hope you're well. This is Verse Chorus Verse, a couple of episodes, 242 and 43, and with me is Evil, dropping anchor Jimmie. Evil, how are you?
Glad
Sounds like a
dropping.
euphemism for pooping.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta go drop anchor.
I'm awesome.
Gross.
You know me.
You had a day of feminine fun.
Did. Eve had friends over. Oliver was here too. He mostly stayed in his room, which is the safe zone.
Smart man.
But multiple 12/13-year-old girls with lots of projects. They made candy. I had to get a candy thermometer out. That was dangerous. They washed both dogs. Yeah, there was a bacon and bagel breakfast to begin the day. They're very busy. Yeah.
So they actually plan out, like, we're going to have bacon and bagels for the morning. And
I'm never delivered the information. I just get Jimmie, why isn't the bacon done? I'm like, I don't know. Is there bacon? Texting Megan at work. Babe, is there bacon? Oh yeah, there's bacon and bagels. Oh, okay.
Have you ever baked your bacon in the oven?
That's how we do it.
I just learned about that.
Yep. 400 for about 16-ish minutes.
Nice.
Yep.
You heard her. Also here, Rachel laying comfortably with the dog's polio.
I'm great.
With a heated blanket.
I don't have a heated blanket today. I do have the space heater on.
No, when you lay with your dog, you do.
I do, because it lures the dogs to lay in my lap.
Yeah.
It's a trick.
So it's going well.
It's going good. Today's a good day. I'm only in the States for another 24 hours or so.
Yeah, where are you going on the 19th?
I'm going to Madrid, to Spain.
Just for the hell of it?
Just for fun.
Are you going to run with the bulls in Pamplona? Are you going that far?
No, we're just going to stay kind of in Madrid, and then there's a trip to somewhere that's like an hour away.
So how long are you going to go for?
Just a week. I get pretty exhausted of fun and being away from my kid and dog.
I mean, a week's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a day of travel on either side and then 5 days of running around the city, so.
I'm jealous. I want to do like a Hemingway tour in Madrid.
So, also, no. Was that Hemingway? In France at the Salon? That was Hemingway. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, we went to that when we went to Paris. We got to go to all the places where Midnight in Paris was shot.
Fitzgerald and him used to chill.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
It was dope.
I liked him more. Madrid, he was more of a, he was always, man's man, one sentence, one simple sentence writer. But Madrid, he was even more of the, bullfights and wineskins.
Sure.
I want a wineskin.
Wineskins. I like that.
Boys in your wineskins.
Bullfights and wineskins.
Do they still have bullfights, I bet, right?
I would think. Nobody cares about safety in Europe.
Thanks a lot, Obama. What? That's fun. That's fun. It's a 3-day weekend for some of us. It seems like it wasn't for Rachel, unfortunately. No. It was for Evil's significant other. It was for me. I just flew back from Boise. I just flew back from where Evil lives.
What?
Did you guys hang out?
Yeah. For 3 days. Yep. Without you.
What the hell?
And it was great.
Crashed on the couch.
Hurtful.
Yeah. No. I was there so I didn't end up going to being able to see my family for Thanksgiving, and I got in a lot of trouble for that. So I had to do like a quick makeup flight to see the grandparents and the moms and dads and all that.
Did you take kids or just yourself?
Yeah, no. If I went by myself without my 1-year-old and 10-year-old, I would be murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems.
What you eating?
French fries.
Amazing.
McDonald's.
They're
I'm
so
excited.
good.
You'll have to let us know how they are in Madrid when you go there.
Don't think I won't.
Every day. We are here doing our first DLs, I guess it's our second DL's 10 out of 10. It's weird. I almost don't count them when it's after a band dissection, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is our second one. This is a 1997 album that was lesser known, had a couple of hits. Rachel.
Yes, sir.
Did you know anything about this album?
I did not. I didn't know the band at all, but I did play. What's the one on the other album that's kind of a hit? There was one that hit like
On and
TRL.
On or On the Day or Day is it's like their biggest hit.
Yeah. That was one that hit TRL. Oh, Do Right. That was
right. I was
and
slappy.
So when I listened to that, I remembered Samsonite.
I was way off.
I hadn't heard anything really, so this was pretty new. So that was
cool.
Good. Yeah.
I don't want to ask Evil yet because I don't want to ask him yet. So you enjoy your French fries. We'll talk about some other stuff. What was it? There's something music that I wanted to talk about that just happened. What was it?
It was the SNL stuff, right? With Nirvana.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Post Malone. Did you watch it?
No.
You should have watched it because now
why?
I don't feel like you can properly judge it because you don't have the experience that me and Jimmie have. We watched it.
First off, I can judge anything, no matter when I want. It's my podcast. I do what I want.
Yeah.
No, so what did you think of it? For those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody does, but Grohl and Chris got together with Post Malone and did Smells Like Teen Spirit.
And Pat Smear was there too.
And Pat Smear. Sorry, I didn't see it, so I forgot about Pat Smear. But Nirvana, went with Post Malone. Word is they might even tour.
Ooh.
There's a
I think these kids just might make it.
just glad they finally got a good lead singer, right? Oh. So
30 years later.
Rachel, you loved it?
I was pleasantly surprised. And maybe it was because my expectations were like so low. I don't love Post Malone, great person, don't love his music. So vocally, I didn't think that it would be very good, but he kind of killed it a little bit. It was pretty good. And then watching Dave just drumming again, like he just takes all his anger out there. He's
a fun drummer.
He's a good drummer. So I liked it a lot.
He's really good at hitting it, if you know what I mean. YouTube. Everybody go watch the YouTube and see what just happened.
Jimmie, what did you think?
So you watched it, Evil?
Yeah.
Like live or YouTube?
YouTube. Anything live anymore?
Yeah, it's too hard. That's what she said.
I am wholly against everything about it.
Thank God.
What?
However,
there it is.
Fucking rocked. I had massive cognitive dissonance going on because I'm like, everything about this feels so wrong.
Yeah.
But
why are you shaking your head?
It was so good.
It as an isolated performance, I'm like, that fucking wasn't bad. Now, everything about it's wrong.
It is.
Post Malone, he's playing the lead in the song. He's playing a fucking like a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah.
Like that's wrong. That it sounds right. It looks wrong.
Yeah. If you just cover your eyes.
You get what I'm talking about. Like DL gets
I do.
That specific reference. Like it sounded great, but watching it, I'm just like,
it's like, well, yeah. Why are you playing a fucking Godsmack guitar? It doesn't compute.
Like, and that I think that captured everything about the performance for me.
He played a Les Paul.
Yes, I'm just like, God damn it!
I just watch it.
Look, I think it's not going to do. I don't care if he's the fucking second coming of Kurt Cobain. He's not fucking Kurt Cobain.
No, he's not.
There are hundreds of thousands of people out there that can sing "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and it'll sound amazing.
Sure.
That doesn't mean you should. That doesn't mean that you should go on stage and be like, hey, look how good Post Malone, the super popular guy, is at singing Kurt Cobain's songs. Let's get fucking Dave Grohl another $100 million and go tour, because that's what we need to do. I know that I'm old man yells at cloud right now, but I fucking hate it. Like Evil said, I hate everything about this so much.
Like I have to apologize to both of you because it did rock.
Because we're both
It
wrong.
fucking rocked. And yet I'm looking at the photo right now of him and like his trucker cap and beard with a fucking Les Paul on. And I'm like, it's wrong on so many levels.
You know what's perfect about this is we're all very different at different levels of this. Like I liked it a lot. David shitting all over it, didn't watch it, and Jimmie, you're kind of right in the middle where you liked it, but you didn't want to like it. Like you don't understand it entirely.
It's uncanny valley is what it is.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I just don't know why you fucking touch it. That's the thing. It's, you know what it reminds me of? And I'm not saying that it's as bad, but do you remember like fucking 5 years ago, there was this like video that came out of a bunch of celebrities on like a selfie camera singing Imagine by John Lennon?
Ugh.
And it was a bunch
was
of
just-
rich fucks. It's the same
situation.
It's the same thing.
No. That
Why
was
is
a
it
bunch
different?
of rich assholes singing while all the rest of us were sitting in our houses with no toilet paper. Like,
I mean, how's this different? Except for
they're not trying to make us
I have
feel
some toilet
better.
paper.
They're not trying to
That's
bring
true.
the world together with their stupid song.
No, they're trying to make money.
That's fine, David. They can do that. I mean, this is just like Dead Sarah taking over for Chester. It's the exact same thing.
I disagree.
It is the exact same thing.
I disagree.
Evil, tiebreaker, shakes head.
I didn't know that they were going to tour, or that was even.
I might be wrong.
Google it.
I might be wrong. I might have just read that like fans were saying they should or something.
Do you
like
want
that.
them to tour so you can hate it even more?
Yes.
You know,
Yes, he does.
you know why I really wouldn't like that is look, I like them all. I don't care, you know, what Dave Grohl has done or hasn't done. And, you know, Pat Smear's kind of proven to be sort of a douchebag at times, but, you know, whatever.
He's a punk rock guitar player.
Exactly. But
I mean, what the
you know who I love is Chris Novoselic. And if he does a tour with Post Malone, like doing this, these are fucking Kurt Cobain songs. These are not Nirvana songs. That's the thing. Smells Like Teen Spirit is not Dave Grohl's song. It's fucking Kurt Cobain wrote that
That's
shit.
fair.
So why does this fucking jagoff country rapper face tat man get to go up and sing his fucking
Don't
song in
judge
front
his
of hundreds?
looks. That's not fair.
I don't give two shits about his looks. I give a shit about his terrible, terrible music up until.
Well, here's the thing, and you're like rubbing right up against it.
That's what she said.
I
So
usually do.
I'm gonna take over right now because I'm feeling
Okay.
it. Watching it and watching him act, he kills the performance. Not kidding.
I bet.
It makes me so angry at all of the fucking music he's made up to this point. Like, if you can do that,
Yeah.
why did you do this?
Because it's
Like-
not, because he can't write. Because it's somebody else's song.
Because he's LARPing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know. But, and this, I'm being hypocritical because I really dug when they did the Hall of Fame concert and they had all the females get up and sing. It's the exact same thing. It's the same thing.
None of those performances were even close to this one.
Really?
No.
Okay.
You sure?
In terms of just like singular musical performance.
But you keep telling me to watch it, Rachel. That's what you don't get. Is it could be fucking
Right.
Beethoven's Fifth, and it.
Remember when you hated Greta, and then you went to go see them in concert, which
Uh-huh. He
was
still hates
mind-boggling.
them.
Anyway, and
They
then,
write their own songs.
That's not the point. The point is that you hated them. You went to go see them, and then you're like, "Wow, they're actually very talented."
No, the singer is.
Either way,
To me, singing is a very, very different thing. Look, I'll watch it, but I'm telling you, the Greta Van Fleet singer is on a whole other level. He's on a whole other level than like most anybody I've ever heard. I'm sure that this will be great, and I'll go ahead and watch it, but there are hundreds of thousands of people that can sing fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit.
hundreds of thousands,
Yes.
but
Give-
do it well.
Give me a month, I'll fucking shred that song. Like, it's a punk rock song. It's
Songs.
Yeah.
Like it's
like, I just don't Why do it? I just don't. I hate it. I hate it so much.
So the whole point of the special was bringing bands in to cover musicians that have passed away.
Mhm.
So this is what everybody was. It was very much like the Grammys when they like smash weird musicians together and expect it to work. They had
it's bad.
actually Brittany
really, really
Howard
bad.
and St. Vincent did a number. I can't remember what song that was,
Okay.
but yeah, there was a lot on there. I think
Didn't
you would enjoy.
SNL just do this like fucking 5 years ago or something? Didn't they do?
They did a 45-year.
Yeah,
And
and
then
it was
the
massive.
50.
So they're just gonna do this every 5 years now because they
that's fine.
can't fucking believe it's still on.
Also, the
Yeah.
closer was Jack White. Almost called you on that one.
What was?
Jack White,
Did what?
the close, the last song.
But he did. Yeah, he did one of his own songs.
He did.
That's crazy.
He did.
Novel, right?
He did his huge one. He did
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Does it have the number 75 on it? Something is making
Seven
me
Nation
think.
Army. Thank you.
Yes, that's it. Okay.
75, Seven Nation, whatever.
Whatever. We
I
got
don't know,
there.
listeners. Let us know. What did you love the Post Malone? I know most people are going to actually be on Rachel's side with this. It's a good
Hi.
fucking, it's a good show. Let it be. Here we are now. Entertain us, right?
Yes.
That's it. Hey, maybe there it is.
I feel like they're not going to agree with me because I
Everything's-
feel like our listeners are dudes. And
No, they are, but they are. I'm usually the one that on stuff like this, they're like, dude, you need to fucking chill out. Who gives
That's
a
fair.
shit?
okay.
But now I'm just thinking, Kurt Cobain might love this.
Also,
He
Lauryn
might
Hill
be
was
like
there.
the whole point of the song. Lauryn Hill was there. She sang with who?
Wyclef. That's it.
Are you serious?
David's eyes got huge.
She sang with Wyclef?
Yeah.
Bridge over troubled water. What is it? Something about bridges
Yeah.
not being burnt? Okay.
Apparently not.
I have zero interest in the SNL shit. Zero at all.
Fine.
Like this every 5 years we're going to
You know what I tune in for?
what?
Eddie Murphy.
Was he
Yeah.
what did he do?
He played Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll YouTube that.
It
They
was
did
amazing.
Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Black Jeopardy is
Did they do an homage to Norm Macdonald?
They did talk about Norm
yeah.
quite a bit.
Did they?
Bill Murray came on. They were doing like a news segment and did like
Mhm.
a top news anchors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And he started with top African American news anchors, and it was Michael Che.
One person.
And then he's like top regular news anchors, and Michael Che's like regular. And they set up a joke. This is fucking spoiler, so if anyone hasn't seen it, I shouldn't do it. I should just let you watch it because it's
I'll watch that. If
tip
they
of the
talk
hat.
about
To,
Norm,
I'll just say
watch that.
tip of the hat to Norm.
yeah.
He wasn't. I'll just zip it there.
You did send me one of the Norm jokes, and
Yep.
it's perfect.
The
it's
OJ,
an absolutely
the Michael Che OJ. Yeah,
that was amazing. That was fantastic.
That was a joke that Norm would have fucking loved.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there we are. Everybody's happy that David's never gonna watch Post Malone. It's Post Malone. I'm not gonna. I just don't want to do it.
Did you at least chuckle when I sent you the photo of Kurt and I captioned it pre-Malone?
That was hilarious.
I laughed really hard on that. Yes, that was
Okay, good.
that was one of the better ones you've sent in a while. That was fucking hilarious.
Good.
Okay, so far so good. We haven't even talked about the fucking album name yet. So I guess we should get into the most important part of the night. What are we drinking?
Ooh.
Let's start with me. Let's start with Rachel.
Yeah,
Rachel's
let's
gonna be
start with
boring.
Rachel.
She's eating French fries. I'm guessing she's drinking a Coke, water.
It's water. It's a school night. I have to work. I worked a lot today. I have to work a lot tomorrow.
I mean, did you work a lot?
I woke up at 6:30 and I stopped working at 4:30.
Did you
When
have
did you
pajama
start
pants on
work?
the whole time though?
Yes, I still have
Okay.
the same pajama pants on.
Okay. Let's go to me. I'm the second least interesting. I am drinking a beer because I just got home and I didn't have time to make anything. It's too bright. I'm drinking a Modelo. I've been into the Modelos lately. I've always been a fan of the lighter Mexican lagers, your, Coronas and Modelo got way popular, it seems like, over the last couple of years. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But I see them around a lot more, and I'm okay with that. Are you a Mexican? Do you like Mexican beers at all, Evil?
I'll drink them. I mean, I'm not a big beer drinker,
I know.
but I'll drink a cerveza here and there. Depends on the set and setting. If you were,
it's usually a summer thing.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Bowling.
I was just walking by it in the store, and I was like, that looks fucking good. And just between you and me, next weekend, I've got 2 days by myself here, just me and the dog. So,
oh my gosh,
I needed some beer because it's going to be the greatest 2 days of my life. Evil, what are you drinking? As usual, it looked pretty delicious.
Yeah. So I want to bring up one of the ingredients later, not later this episode, but later down the road. So I have a former coworker who resigned, left her position. Her husband, I think her husband's grandfather, forever ago, they live in, I think, Indiana, he wanted to make maple syrup. And so he got a couple of trees, tapped them, and it grew into this like side hustle business.
No shit.
Yeah. And
That's
so
cool.
Every year that we were on the same team, she would like take several weeks she'd still be working, but kind of be sort of on and off work. They would go out and tap maple trees and wind up making hundreds of gallons of syrup or something,
That's a good
maybe they tapped hundreds of gallons. And anyway, so they have like this little mom and pop shop maple syrup business. And she's left to focus on that a little bit. So I bought some syrup. And I have a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup that I got from them. So I want to bring them up later because they're just getting set up. They don't even have a website yet, so I can't send people to this. Once I have the link, I'll bring it back up again. But
let me know. I'll buy some, and we'll do an episode where we both make drinks with it and stuff.
The bourbon they have multiple
too.
flavors. I got just some of their regular maple syrup. They have a coffee maple syrup, a coffee vanilla maple syrup. I didn't get that one. And a bourbon barrel aged one. And it's fucking delicious. So I also have some Buffalo Trace that I'm doing a bacon fat wash, going back to the bacon from earlier. I'm doing a bacon batch of bacon fat washed Buffalo Trace. Yum. So I made a bacon fat wash Buffalo Trace old fashioned with the bourbon maple. Is that right? Bourbon barrel aged maple syrup from Sink's Sugar Shack is the name of their
Sink's?
business. Yeah. I don't know if that's
SINK?
I don't know if that's the grandpa's name or what. I'll get all the details once they're kind of up and running and have a shop to buy from. We'll send them some traffic. But it's just an old fashioned, but a little story behind it.
A Canadian old fashioned.
Sounds real good.
And by the way of Indiana.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of Canada.
Yeah.
Anybody else watch that fucking hockey game?
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Say, can you see?
Sorry, our Canadian friends.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Beat your asses. My goodness.
I love that we're getting booed everywhere.
Yeah, we sure are.
How's that working out for everybody booing us, though?
They did get fucking rocked.
Also, the first 10 seconds was just people throwing down.
Fights.
Beating the shit out of each other. Yes. Well, we have to fight now.
I like Shoresy so much more now because it feels like real life.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of hockey, because I'm not a massive hockey fan, but I do love hockey. I watch it when I can. I think hockey fans have been the game hasn't been what it was, and it's kind of getting back to it again. And I like it.
You're into it?
I'm a fan.
I was dabbling into hockey fandom a long time ago. I remember being like a Jaromir Jagr fan and kind of that era, like when he was
So like Gretzky or like post Gretzky
I think Gretzky was still playing, but he was kind of on the tail end of his career.
Okay. So like Joe Sack. What about the Avalanche? Were the Avalanche around yet?
Yep.
So like Joe Sakic and fucking Brett Hull and guys like that. Dude, that was a fun time to be a hockey fan.
I found it was just hockey on television doesn't translate
It doesn't.
But we have the Steelheads here, so anytime I have a chance to go to a Steelheads game, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Those are amazing games.
Yeah, even the minor league live
Yes.
games I think pro hockey is the best live sport to see.
I could see that.
Fucking
100%.
It's so awesome.
Yep.
Right, Rach?
I've never been to a pro show. I've been to a Steelheads, and then we have a team over here that's real bad, and it's mostly teenagers.
In
from
Idaho Falls?
Other countries. Yeah, in Idaho Falls. It's called the Spud Kings, and the mascot is a potato with a crown on. And he's got hockey sticks. It's very cool.
That's
People are
probably
very into it.
pretty close to the type of league that Shorzy is, honestly.
Yeah, the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, yeah. Huh? Oh, that's good. Should we go ahead and take a break? Shit, we're 28 in, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're drinking. Go hockey, go whatever else. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Anybody need a break? All right.
Ready to rumble.
Well, we are back, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. In June of 1997, under the label of Rocket, which is Elton John's label. Yeah. Crazy enough. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Produced by Steven Hagler, a small band from where? From Maryland or... Annapolis. Jimmie's Chicken Shack came out with an album called Pushing the Salmanilla Envelope. These guys are obsessed with chickens. I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe somebody else does. Before we start talking about this album, why I chose this album, completely 0% in the know of what these two will think about this album. Let's do the friendship test. So, I know, right?
I say this every episode, but this is one of the hardest friendship tests.
Yeah. It is, because this is one of those albums that, for me, you both might fucking hate this album. So it's so hard to pick a song it's hard to pick a song that Rachel would like, honestly. So fair. I will start with Evil then. And the song I wanted to say, but I'm not going to because it's too easy, is High, because I figured either A, it's just a very heavy fucking 90 that is up his alley, and B, maybe he hadn't thought, because that was on the radio a lot. And I was thinking maybe like it'll come on and this huge wave of nostalgia will hit him and he'll be like, holy fuck. I did not say High though, because that's too boring. I said School Bus because it's fucking weird as shit. And Evil loves these weird, funky, nonsensical System of a Downish sort of songs. And so I said School Bus. For Rachel, like I said, she might fucking hate this album. I don't know. I went with Hole. Because it's extremely short and it's funky as shit. It's absolutely funky. Those are my picks. Rachel, what are yours?
I went a different route. Because Jimmie turned out to be a basic bitch last time.
True.
I did go for one of the singles for him, and I just picked Dropping Anchor.
Good
and
pick.
I forget what my thought process was on High for you, David, but that is what I chose for you.
Good song.
Yes.
Okay. Evil?
For you, Spiderweb. For Rachel, Another Day.
Okay.
Everything is different.
Everything is... I almost picked Another Day for Rachel just because I do not know her thoughts on reggae at all. And I'll be interested to hear what they are, because actually we can talk about reggae now, because one of the factors of this has reggae in it. And this band went on to be much more, like you were talking about that other hit, that bigger hit that they had on their next album.
Right.
That is very reggae.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of went much more the 311-ish sort of route.
Yes.
So are you into that, Rachel?
No. No, I'm not. There were a couple bands that I was like, they sound like this, but 311, they absolutely sound like 311. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
A lot of 311 going on. Yep, that's true.
This sounded like a lot of other stuff, and so it was hard for me to like really pull something unique out of it that I really, really liked that was very different from other bands. And maybe you can talk me through that. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
I mean, okay, here's why I picked this album. Here's why I love this album back. Well, the real reason I picked this album is, like I said at the beginning, I fucking loved this album in high school. I listened to it all the goddamn time. It's like when I can't turn it on now without smelling Zima. Like it's just fucking like it was ingrained in my senses. And it's one of those albums that I had not listened to in so long that I could honestly say, like, was this as good as I remember? Or was it just, am I going to turn it on and be like, oh, 1997, huh? Okay, whatever. That's why I picked it.
Yeah.
But when I went back, what was refreshing to me is I agree with you. It does sound like a lot of stuff, but 1997 was a good year for music because there was a lot of weird stuff out. People were trying different things. And B, this is kind of pulling on the same rock strings that everybody was at the time. But the difference being is there was something refreshingly unique about the lead singer and the fucking rhythm section of this band. The rhythm section of this band is crazy good. So that's where I am at with that. What I want to know is, in general, reggae. Where do you stand with reggae?
Not a huge fan. And I think it falls for me, and this is a little different, but straight up reggae is what I'm talking about.
Like Marley.
Falls in the same category as country would for most people, where it's like fine in small doses, but after a while it tends to blend together and kind of sound like the same thing.
They all look the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're at Evil, because Evil, this could go one of 100 ways with Evil. How familiar? Tell us about you with this album.
So this is going back into the MTV era for me. So a lot of my musical memories are tied to visuals. And I remember High, and I remember the video for High.
Okay.
It's been a long time. I'm going to draw a parallel and you're going to hate it, but it's going to make you laugh. So I have my brain is full of shit. It's full of so much stuff now at this point. And so memories have been compressed and put on shelves that maybe they shouldn't be. For some reason, my brain has connected or previously had connected the video for High, done in a barn, dreadlocks,
Man in the Box.
Overall,
You're going to say Man in the Box, aren't you?
No, with Rednecks, Cotton Eye Joe, for some reason.
Oh, it's not the direction I thought that was going.
Wait, when did Dumb and Dumber come out?
94.
Dumb and Dumber was 94? Damn, what a year.
So 3 years difference, 94
really
to 97. But for somehow those got melded. I don't know why. Not even remotely the same musically. So I remember it, and I remember it being liking it at the time, but I think I had just sort of chicken-holed it into this sort of pseudo new metal milieu of bands that came out post grunge, and that wasn't
White
fair.
Dudes with dreads.
Exactly.
Yep.
Cut off overalls in a barn. I mean, come on. Before I go further, I'm wearing my Shut the Cluck Up Hattie B's Hot Chicken t-shirt that I won in Nashville because it seemed apropos for the episode.
Damn straight it is.
So that, coming into this, when I saw the episode outline, I'm like, Jimmie's Chicken Shack? What the fuck are we doing? We're scraping the bottom of the barrel for episodes,
I'm out of albums.
man.
I don't know what to do anymore.
We ran out of music.
Which I will foreshadow a bit by saying that was not fair at all.
I love that. Yeah, so I'll just, since I was the one that said that, I just said why I picked this, I will say it ended, my decision has been that it's kind of a perfect blend of both. Yes, I think I was maybe seeing this as something more than it was back then, but at the same time, I love this fucking album. I still love it. I'm not going to put 10 of these songs on a fucking playlist for the rest of the year or anything like that. But I'll tell you that my top 3 songs on this, I'll still fucking bump these every fucking day. There are nuggets of brilliance in this album that are so impressive to me. And there is this heaviness, this kind of, like you were saying, this white guy dreadlock kind of wannabe heavy mixed with reggae, 311-y, but there's something about them they're singing fairly serious, poignant stuff at times, but you can tell they don't take themselves seriously at all. I like that, and I kind of miss that. And maybe it's just a sign of the times sort of thing, but it was refreshing to listen to an album where people are kind of just fucking around a little bit.
I mean, even the title, pushing the Salmanilla envelope, and they smell it like Manila envelope. It's just fucking dad jokes, honestly.
It is.
But, and so I think that was in my brain, like, oh, this was a kind of a gadget band that really didn't take itself seriously, which is true, but the musicianship is fucking high. Like,
very.
And I
way higher than was typically going on in 97.
Way higher than the hit single. Like, High is...
Good point.
Yeah.
Anchor and High being the radio songs those are such different songs than the rest of the album.
Yes. Yeah. And I think High was I know I've heard the album before. It's been eons at this point. High is the only one that really stuck with me.
Yeah. I think probably most people.
Which is a disservice to the rest of the album.
Good. Sounds like you liked it much more than Rachel did.
Probably.
Rachel, anything that you... How long did you give this? How much did you listen to it?
I listened... Well, it was a shorter than some of the stuff we've been listening to lately, because all the Nine Inch Nails albums were quite a bit longer. So I listened to this a ton of times over and over, because it's only 45 minutes. So I gave it a lot of tries. A lot.
That's it?
Do you want to hear my review?
Sure. Probably not, but sure.
Yay. All right. Pushing the Salmanilla envelope stitches together elements of funk, punk, and grunge, creating something that sounds like what might happen if Shane's Addiction and Primus had a baby, and that baby grew up in a basement full of blacklight posters and questionable life choices. The
Pretty
album
accurate.
moves from headbanging anthems like Dropping Anchor to ska-inflicted weirdness, When you die, you're dead, all while maintaining the oddball charm of a group who doesn't take themselves too seriously. Lyrically, Jimmie Haha, because of course that's his name, swings between themes about school, environmentalism, and existential crises, all delivered with the conviction of a man who may or may not have just remembered that he left the oven on. And yet, despite the chaotic blend of influences, the album works. High remains the standout, a song that seems to both celebrate and warn against excess, a message that incidentally is best appreciated when one is newly awakened on a noon on a Sunday, trying to decide between Taco Bell and Jack in the Box.
Yeah, that song's dumb.
Is this album perfect? No. Is it wildly inconsistent at times? Absolutely. But that's part of its charm. It's the musical equivalent of an old college friend who crashes on your couch unannounced, messy, unpredictable, and just compelling enough that you don't immediately kick them out.
I like that ending a lot. I think it's more consistent than you do, though. I think this is it's quirky and it goes in different directions, but to me, the sound is actually pretty consistent. In fact, there's a couple times where I feel like they're kind of punching the same ticket. They're kind of like, you've already done this in this song, but... That was a good review.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thanks.
I liked it. Jimmie's Chicken Shack. Did anybody see where that name came from?
No.
Never did find the
Malcolm
source.
X's favorite restaurant. That's a crazy name for a band and a crazy way to pick a name for a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Right?
Bunch of white guys
Yeah.
picking Malcolm X's favorite restaurant.
Hey, white guys are allowed to like Malcolm X.
Sure.
How dare you? I see. So were you implying in your review that you feel like you said something about how his singing, it seems like he's kind of blasing it. Like he's a little bit, he did not much conviction.
Well, I don't know if it's not much conviction, but like we said, like it's not too serious.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to say they're not trying very hard because it doesn't seem like that at all. It just seems like maybe there's not the importance on being profound, I guess, on that. And they're taking a little lighter with the lyrics.
I get that. I see. I like his actual tone. I really enjoy.
Sure.
I like that he never really screams. Like he gets really aggressive at the end of Dropping Anchor and Outside. And I think maybe like When You Die, You're Dead, there's a couple parts, but he never really there. You don't hear him really just, he doesn't ever go Post Malone or Kurt Cobain, however you want to say it. He, you know what I mean? Like he stays in the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucking like that though. I like that he's chosen his notes and that's where he's going.
Yeah, vocally, I thought it was very good. I have no complaints about that.
Good.
Good.
That's good. Any like comps or any sort of like, I don't know. I hear a lot of, well, I guess that's more influences and influences.
Oh my God, there are so many.
We'll do that in the next episode. Lazies.
I will say this without giving too much away into that conversation, which is going to be long and vast. They unfairly, I'm going to say this again, chicken-holed this band as a
I love it.
new metal band. And I don't think that's fair. Even though
I don't think there's much of them. There's not that much of it that's new metal.
Here's the difference. Like, I think High is a new metal song. That's a new metal song.
Yeah.
And that's probably why.
Fair.
But if I listen to the whole album, I give it an actual listen, unbiased, I hear a lot of the same influences that influence new metal, but it's filtered through it's put through a different filter. It sounds a lot like late 80s, early 90s LA bands, like alternative LA bands.
Yes. Yeah.
Which largely influence, and then a couple others, but one other big one that I'll save for later. But it didn't get put through the same lens as the new metal stuff did.
I agree.
It retained more of the musicianship and kind of the spirit, like the funk and like world music, honestly. That earlier era, like pre-grunge era had, like heavier alternative LA-centric pre-grunge had.
I agree. Making notes. I'm making a note. I don't want to forget that. Jimmie Haha, guitar, vocals, Jim McD, guitar, Jim Chaney, drums and percussion, and Shay Lemon.
That's a Shorzy joke right there.
Bass.
Jim. It's the Jims. And a killer fucking bass player.
Yes.
Man, Shay Lemon.
Holy
ladies
shit.
and gentlemen. Man, that guy can play, huh? Yeah. The musicianship on this to me is one of the things that sets them aside from some of the, that other stuff we're talking about. And I know, like,
it's shockingly good. It's like
right?
shockingly good when you actually listen to it.
Yeah. And they're not relying on a lot of the, there are like High does, but they're not relying on the same low fucking, they're not relying on the same tropes that mid to late 90s shit was relying on back then. They were, the guitar is borderline clean in a lot of this. Like it's bluesy, which lets the drums and the bass kind of go off and do their own thing. And that was one of the things that caught me when I was in the car on the way home from the airport, and I was listening to it quietly because my kids were in the car. And when you're listening to it quietly on the stereo, you hear vocals and drums. That's what you hear. And that the drums were, I could not believe how fucking crisp and good the drums were. Which I guess we were just lucky.
The production.
Production, yes.
Like, I looked like Steven Hagler. I hope I'm not butchering his name.
I hope you are.
His engineering credits are like Doolittle.
Shit, I didn't.
Right?
I did not.
He's worked with Bob Mould. He,
fuck's sake,
also produced Local H, Quicksand album, a Fuel album, a lot of stuff that sounds very similar. But I kind of like that mid-late 90s really crisp production. I don't necessarily like all the music from that time. That production is really good.
Evil. He did Clutch.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
That's no wonder you like it.
He did Oleander.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Let me lay some cards down on the table. Before I really dove into the album, I'm not gonna this bullshit album, whatever. Let me listen to the playlist it generates, right? So I'm gonna like fully just like bathe in the nostalgia. And some of the shit that played was a lot of Toadie's tracks played.
Okay.
But like Oleander was one that came up, which was super fun because there was
I don't think I've heard them. And
but this Butthole Surfers, Presidents of the United
Surfers.
States, a lot of Clutch.
Just spoiled one for me, but that's okay.
Local H was one of them.
I'll say this now. There's going to be a point on this podcast where we do a very, very long Presidents of the United States is a band that I don't think I've talked about in this pod. And if I sat down and thought about it, they're probably a top 5 band for me. Like,
wow, that'll be fun.
Dude, if you've never sat down and really like gotten into like multiple albums of theirs, they're just impossible not to like. I fucking love the Presidents, and this band, this music, you're right. It reminds me of that.
Incubus came up a ton.
Absolutely.
Tripping Daisy, which was super fun. I
love Tripping Daisy.
Right. And then this was a band that I'd not heard of. And I'm like, how have I never heard of this band? The band is Straw Horse, and the album that kept coming up is called Brilliantine, and it looks like a Tide sort of logo, like laundry detergent. Brilliantine is a great tag. This is a band that put out an album in 2014. So this is way later. So they had no business making this kind of music in 2014. It's ridiculous that they were doing it. But it's
Straw Horse looks silly.
It is a incredibly guilty pleasure. Like listening to that, I listened to that album and I'm like, oh man, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old me would have loved this.
When I first heard Tripping Daisies, I thought that it was Ozzy Osbourne.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know how that works. That's weird math.
What song was it? Have you ever heard this song? It's Piranhas, right? Wasn't that one of their big hits in like fucking 90, probably 94-ish? The song Piranhas? There's always piranhas. Anyway, I digress. I Am an Elastic Firecracker. Yes. Oh no. Yeah, I Got a Girl was one of them.
I Got a Girl.
Yeah. But then they came out with Piranha, and when I first heard Piranha, I thought it was Ozzy Osbourne. Turns out it was not.
That's hilarious.
Also, did you know that the lead singer for Tripping Daisies is the same lead singer as Polyphonic Spree? Same guy.
I'm going to have to deal with that later.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking insane? Yeah, he founded a cult, and so far it seems to be working out for him.
Good for him.
Okay.
Rachel, have you ever been a member of Polyphonic Spree?
No cults for me.
That's amazing.
That's not true.
It's not true that you haven't? Oh, because you're cat.
Moving on.
Rachel, tell us something about this album. There had to be something that you really hated or really liked.
I really, really loved the bass.
Yeah.
The bass, every single song. Like, there's so much. Maybe it was the mixing. Maybe it was just because it was so good. But it stood out to me so strongly in every song, even when there's vocals over it. It was so good.
Agreed. Okay.
And I don't want to circle back to this, but like I said, it sounded like a lot of stuff from that time, around that time, put in a blender. And I've also very much understand that the musicianship on this is amazing. However, the sound, it's all together, just didn't sound fresh and new and unique to me.
I think the riffs on this are so different than the riffs that were coming out at that point.
Okay.
I think the riffs are hella different, bro.
Hella different.
You know, I'll say, I saw these guys at the Rose Room in Boise, where that's, what is that, fucking 400 people or something like that?
Or less, yeah.
Opening for Everclear.
Wow, I bet that was a fun show.
Yeah, and that was what hooked me on Jimmie's Chicken Shack, is it was so much fucking different. Like Everclear was this, you know, it was Green Day, it was 3-chord boogie, it was fucking, and then Jimmie's Chicken Shack is, you know, white dude with dreads. I mean, what are you gonna do? But you know, the guitarist isn't playing fucking power chords the whole time. Like, I don't know. It was fun. They were great live. Turns out, I think Conlon was at that same concert.
Yeah, he's a fan. I know
Of
that
Jimmie's Chicken Shack?
Yes. In fact, he was probably the first person I thought of when I saw the outline. When I'm like, oh, Jimmie's Chicken Shack, Conlon. Yeah. He would. Yeah.
Probably
He
because
would-
that concert. He's a good guy.
He is.
You know, I don't know. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Let's go.
One last pull from before we go into the actual
I love
music
it. Do
itself. I Mother Earth. I sent you.
Yes.
The screenshot
you
of
did.
that.
You were very into that.
I love I Mother Earth, which was
It's good shit.
Dig was the album that I really, really
Yeah.
loved. That was 93. This was 97. But Rachel's not wrong. There's DNA in the sonics of this album that I can draw straight back to Tool's Undertow, to Rage's first album, to I Mother Earth, to many others. But it's like sonically, before those bands kind of developed into their more widely known sounds, there was something that shares DNA with this album.
I agree, particularly with a couple you just mentioned. Rachel, do you think you would have felt differently as far as this sounding like what it sounds if Anchor and High weren't track 1 and 3 on this album? Because to me, Anchor and High that is kind of where it's a lot like everything else that was coming out. But everything else is very different to me, except for maybe Outhouse, which has kind of a Alice in Chains third album feel about it, you know, like that same just building a song off of 2 chords and letting the fucking guitar and the vocalist work. Not comparing him to Lane, like let's not be silly. But do you think that if they would have had like fucking Sitting with the Dogs or School Buses track 1, that you would have been like, what the fuck, like this is different?
Liked, not to get into too much, but I didn't mind how this was laid out. That was not an issue for me at all. I think for me, because I knew one song of theirs at all, that if I had listened to this when it came out or around that time, I would be a little bit more open to it.
Okay.
Than I am now.
Of the time kind of thing.
But now looking back on it, there's so much stuff that sounded like this.
Name one thing.
But not like, it's not like it.
It is.
I saw everybody I saw online was comparing them to Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't see that at all. Like maybe
early, like Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, and prior Chili Peppers.
I just feel like everybody hears slap bass and they're like, oh, that's Flea. But it's like, it's not like.
He owns it. It's his.
Yeah, he does kind of own it.
Now, I do see a lot of Primus. God, we're getting into influences and influences.
That's actually, I was trying to think of the comp and I couldn't do it when I said System, but I was trying to think of like an amazing musician, goofy kind of thing. And Primus is the prime example of that, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I hear Primus, I hear Faith No More, I hear a bunch of shit like that early.
Yes. Faith No More is great. Can Faith No More be an influence for every single band in the 90s? I feel like it kind of is.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. That's true.
On
Faith No More.
You know what else showed up in like just letting a playlist run is Tomahawk, which is another Mike Patton band.
Yeah. Fucking Mike Patton, baby.
Mr. Bungle. I hear Mr. Bungle chords in here. This is a pull from, we're getting into influence. Fuck it. We're doing this.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this. But
yeah,
Korn, heavily influenced by, they call it the Mr. Bungle chord. Like really that.
Yeah.
I hear that chord all through this music, but through a completely fucking different lens.
Yes. Yeah. And I think I hear a lot of Korn too. I
disagree. I think Korn and Jimmie's Chicken Shack pulled from the same stuff, and that's why they sound similar.
But for me, there are certain guitar parts like in Spiderwebs and stuff like that, where I do what you're talking about with that really, really low sludge chord. And even the bit, because, you know, Fieldy was, all he's doing is slapping his fucking ass off in his music. So yeah, you do have the slap bass there. But it is, you're right. It's so different. There's something here that's so much funkier. to
Yeah,
me.
I think they are pulling from similar references rather than one referencing the other.
Yeah. If Korn is sludgy and Primus is twangy, I put this higher, closer to the Primus twang
I agree.
than the sludge.
Yeah, I think that's
Personally. But that's just me.
which means there's some Tony Levin influence in there somewhere.
There's Tony Levin everywhere. Any bass ever. Tony Levin. Right, Rach? Your favorite. Your personal fave.
She
Love
loves
Tony
Peter
Levin.
Gabriel so much.
It's her second favorite something.
She loves it so much.
Any final thoughts
So
before we
much.
do awards and categories next week on Monday? To recap, everybody go watch the new Nirvana.
Yes.
Yes. Post Malone and Friends, as we call it. Fucking dumb.
You're dumb.
I love how much you hate it.
I do really, really hate it, you guys. I hate it so much.
Just wait.
I'm becoming extinct. It won't be long now. Just give it a couple more years. I'm just going to keep screaming into the ether, talking about albums from 1997.
Yeah.
Right? It's what God wants. You guys just wait for my next 10 out of 10.
Ooh, what is it?
It's weird is what it is.
I want to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us to talk and to push the envelope, if you will, of a 1997 album. We're going to do awards and categories next week. We love you. Good night and good luck.
Who's the dog?
Hi. Hi, Halen. Lazy boy. He's so lanky.
Yeah,
So
he's
likey.
Gain some weight, bro. You need to hit
Need
the
a
gym.
sandwich.
he's like almost 50 pounds.
Hit the gym. Do you guys want to take 5? Okay.
What? I can't hear you. Our trip? Yeah. We're going to Spain. Are you excited to go hang out at Chris and Kimball's? Yeah. It'll be fun. Hours. Yeah, it'll be a couple days. Yep. Then you'll have your weekend, then you'll come back, and then we'll be back.
I'll be Daz.
For the weekend.
I'm gonna get my hoverboard put in. It's coming in.
Your what?
I need a hoverboard.
You're so quiet. Yeah, I want to break. Henry came in and gave me this. He did it real sneaky too. It was cute. Hey.
How's eating going?
Good.
Shit. All right. That's right. That's right.
Is it though?
Yes, it is. So what else is new? Cool.
Right is nothing. I just have the fear of getting fired hanging over me every single day. So that's terrifying.
Yeah, not great.
No. Thankfully, the new Secretary of Energy is pro-nuclear, so that's a plus. But they may
I
kill
mean-
other programs within the lab
Yeah.
that aren't nuclear.
Yeah. It reminds me of there's an episode in Parks and Rec where we'll talk about it. What are you eating now? Crackers?
Can you just get some Pop Rocks?
Christ. Get the way.
I'm done.
Shut the cluck up.
Yeah, Hattie B's.
Yeah. Coming up on Verse, Chorus, Verse, DL and Evil talk about Jimmie's Chicken Shack while Rachel just hangs out and is all like, that's next. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Verse, Chorus, Verse. I am DL. Part 2 of Pushing the Salmanilla Envelope by Jimmie's Chicken Shack. Here we are with Evil. Shut the cluck up, Jimmie. Evil, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm the
Are you?
best that's ever been.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot.
That's right. Better than Jesus. You heard it right. You heard it.
We are better
Yikes.
than Jesus. That's how. Shut the cluck up. Nashville hot chicken. Does your peeps, no pun intended, around you in your towns, did everybody start trying to do Nashville hot chicken like 5 years ago? Or something like that?
Really?
They did around here. And
At
you know
least-
what?
I don't know. I don't. pay
Fucking
attention.
nobody does it right. Nobody.
Mm.
At
That
all.
chicken it's good and it's
Yeah.
hot.
Yes.
I will
And it
tell
seems
you
like it'd
that.
be so simple to fucking copy, but nobody does it right. Do you have a good Nashville hot chicken place in Idaho Falls, Rachel?
There are, we have
I don't believe you. No, go ahead.
So there's I don't know if it's a franchise, but there's a place called Lucky Fins in Boise.
Lucky
and-
Fins?
Yeah.
Lucky Fins?
The seafood restaurant?
I mean, it's a lot more than seafood.
How dare you?
But they have a
it's Finn,
sister
is it?
one. They have a sister one here called Smokin' Fins, and they have a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, and it is delish. But I've
Is
also
it
never
like-
been to Nashville, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
Is
about.
it delish? But is it like fucking? Are you talking like Buffalo Wild Wings
No,
hot sauce?
I'm talking like the chicken is like beautiful and moist and nice and tender, and then it's just fried perfectly, and the
Okay.
sauce is not too messy, which is good.
Okay. Is it wet or dry?
It's wet.
That's what she said.
I'm looking now. I forgot. There's a Dave's hot chicken here.
Yeah.
Burning Mouth Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah. See,
Clucks.
you just are you never leave your house, so you just are unaware. Yeah. Everybody tried to do it. It doesn't work. I tried getting it all the time everywhere, but the only place I've ever had really good hot chicken was in Nashville.
Hmm.
Dude,
So-
that was legit.
Yeah.
Hattie B's.
I did not have Hattie B's. What did I have? Princess hot chicken. Yes, another famous one. That's one of those where you walk in there, and if you've never been in there before, they won't serve you the hottest
Yeah.
kind that they have. It's, something about slapping your mama. Also with us is Rachel. Lucky Fins has a real good hot chicken polio. Rachel, how are you?
David, I take a lot
You
of
okay?
shit from you boys. You know that?
Yeah, we take a lot from you too, though.
Barely.
Well, I mean, it's a passive aggressive quietness about
That's
you.
fair. That's very fair.
It's the person that doesn't really want to talk about this album. That's hard on us. It weighs on our something, right?
Yeah.
You know what I want to talk about? Hot topic. We'll do a new segment every episode. Hot topic. I want to talk about, if you guys remember shopping at not really, I'm just kidding. No, hot topic of the episode. I want to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Ooh. Okay.
I want to talk about who hated it, who loved it, how we feel at this point about Kendrick Lamar's just absolute fucking, like, it's not even dancing on the grave anymore. I don't know what it is with Drake. I don't know. What would a, hey, English major, if I wanted to call somebody petty, but multiply it by 700,000, what would the word be?
I don't know.
So what did you, Rachel and I are we are the local Kendrick Lamar fans.
Mhm.
Evil kind of made the decision a couple years ago not to be.
I don't hate him. I don't hate his music.
What's your stance? You're never going to,
No,
he's not going to give you a 10 out of 10 album.
probably not. He sounds like a leprechaun, wears girl pants, writes poetry. Like that's not in my wheelhouse. None of those things.
It's not. It's true. But he's ruined the life of a Canadian.
Well, okay.
Plus.
Here's my take. Do you want my take on the Super Bowl halftime show?
I absolutely do.
Kendrick Lamar made the Super Bowl halftime show about Drake, not about Kendrick Lamar.
So you just stole my thunder, because that's my opinion that is why I do not like anything Drake has done this year, because I feel the same. Like, what I loved about Drake is he was always above, like, he seems so far above this sort of shit.
You mean Kendrick?
Sorry, Kendrick. Yes.
Yes.
What did I
Yeah.
say? Drake?
Drake.
Sorry. No.
Drake is the
Kendrick was-
one like trying to
No.
pull Kendrick down into the gutter to do whatever.
That's what I loved
Canadians
about
do.
Kendrick, is Kendrick singing about fucking, psychology and what it was like in Compton and baby mamas and this and that. And he's too good for this shit, but come to find out he's not. In fact, that's all that he's doing now.
Are you saying he's the Post Malone of Nirvana's?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay.
Rachel, what are your thoughts?
I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Good.
Also, it wasn't just about Drake, just that last bit. Just that little last bit.
It
about
was
No,
Drake.
he-
all
he
about
had
Drake.
little-
Everyone knows it was
He had
100% about Drake.
He had little snippets.
But you
That
know,
was Drake is the punchline to that joke,
Sure.
which makes that entire performance about Drake.
So, in other news, Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam was amazing. There were so many like Easter eggs about
Drake.
just the kind of tension in America right now.
True. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that he did that were not Drake related that I think.
Yeah, but everybody's waiting for A minor. That's
true.
That is what
Sure.
that is the punchline.
You know what? To hear like a 200,000 person stadium yell A minor, that was pretty fucking cool. I kind of like that.
I love it too. I also like WWE.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it highbrow.
I agree. I honestly agree. I am we're not going to get political. I am of the type that I enjoy the fact that so many people hated it. That makes me like it. So many fucking people hated this.
I don't get that. I didn't hate it. I thought it was very entertaining, but I don't think it is high art by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't think the Super Bowl has been high art since Prince, honestly.
I think the crowd that comes to watch the Super Bowl and the crowd that watches at home isn't into that music. It's a bunch of old white guys.
You're talking about Chiefs fans? Like Taylor Swift fans?
I'm talking, sure. But, just normal, the guys that watch football are older white gentlemen that don't care for Kendrick Lamar.
T-Swift fans.
What's that?
You're just mad because Taylor Swift got booed really, really badly.
I'm not surprised. It's fine.
I like the meme.
What's the meme?
You've seen the Taylor Swift face and then that, like the
puppet that's
that
like,
Muppet.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like that a lot.
That's funny.
I'm kind of stuck in the middle because I think that most people don't like Kendrick Lamar because they don't understand. They haven't given the time to him to understand it. That's what I think. But I don't like what he's done this year. I hate this Drake thing. I'm fucking sick of it. To me, I just think it puts him somewhere where puts him below where I just think it's above him. But it's not, apparently. I don't know. I'm sick of the fucking Drake shit. I don't know.
For it. I approve this message. I love it all. It's kayfabe now.
I don't like his music.
It is.
But I respect him as a person.
Yeah, it's kayfabe. It's kayfabe for dollars at this point.
I mean, he's making a lot of money.
1,000%.
Speaking of, how in the blue fuck is Ozzy Osbourne going to fucking do another concert? Because he's going to.
I did not hear this.
I don't know if it's a one concert or a tour, but he is.
Farewell.
Yeah.
The Black Sabbath
farewell show.
Interesting.
Like you saw him at the fucking Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah, he's great.
He didn't even people had to narrate what was going on in his fucking head. How is that going to work?
He's old.
Have you seen? I've sent you the early footage of Stephen Hawking with the Larry Bird looking interpreter.
Yes. Yeah.
That.
But okay, so I guess here's the conversation to have then is what are your thoughts on, much like fucking sports, what is the line in High Fidelity? Is it better to burn out than to fade away?
You mean
why do you keep going?
Pyromania? Def Leppard said that a long time ago.
Yeah, Pyromania. Exactly. No.
To say.
Why keep going when you're clearly not? Why Vince Neil, Motley Crue? You know what I mean?
Money? But they just want attention again? I don't know.
Why feud with Drake? Same thing. It's profitable.
I wish that certain rock stars
died younger.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Gave a shit about their legacy. Yeah. I don't know, was Motley Crue just dude, we already came out with 2 really bad albums, so we're who gives a shit? But Vince Neil will now be remembered for the fucking YouTubes of him. They're the worst. They're fucking hilarious. It's the greatest things I've ever seen. What are your thoughts on this, Rachel?
I agree. I think that there's a point to where you should just stay in your house and grow old if you're going to do that way.
It is not a young man's sport. Rock and roll.
It's not. To be fair, though, I did go to the Yellow Brick Road tour before COVID. I think Elton was about 72 at the time. He played for 3 hours straight. Like, no breaks, just murdered it. So I feel like if you can do stuff like that, then you can, like, should or whatever.
When you went and saw that, was he was just sitting at his piano singing, right? He wasn't like doing Elton John.
I mean, he's not dancing around. He's accompanying himself for the entire show.
His flavor of music translates better into that. Like, I'm going to sit at my piano and play a show.
Yeah.
It's easier to sing your song than it is fucking Jump.
There's not a graceful out for hair metal bands.
Sure.
No, there's not.
That's a good point.
Like, let's fast forward a little bit. Rage Against the Machine eventually rages for the machine. That's just how it works. Like, you can't, if you're like punk music is for young kids.
Yeah,
rebelling
like Blink
against
182, fucking 40-year-olds singing about, fucking.
Yeah.
It's,
right. All the hippies from the Woodstock era are now like CEOs and executives now. They're not.
Yeah.
You got to choose your path, right? And certain music really, it has the same shelf life as dairy. Like, you don't do it. I mean, you maybe you can morph into a nice yogurt or fine cheese, but you have to change what you're doing.
What you need to do is you need your lead singer to die, and then Post Malone can take over, and then there you go.
Hey, what if, hold on, bear with me here. What if, no, I'm not going to go there. That's
Do
bad.
it. Do it. You started it. Do it.
What if the surviving members of Nirvana and Post Malone, fuck it, let's throw him in there, were to collab with Kendrick now?
No, because I hate Post Malone.
That's a weird collaboration.
I mean,
what the fuck are we doing? Jimmie's Chicken Shack. We've got some awards and categories. But before we do that, we have to talk about the most important part of the night. What are we drinking?
Yep.
Rachel, are you done with your McDonald's?
I'm done with my McDonald's. I had moved on to some cheese and crackers, and that's done too now. So just some water. Call it a night.
Awesome. I think all of us I'm still drinking Modelo. It's a beer, or a cerveza, if you will. Especial, if you will. It's golden. It's full flavored. It's a Pilsner. It's clean. It's crisp. It's wonderful. Evil, what about you?
I resolved to drink more tequila this year. Just saying, I love throwing that out there.
Love that.
Before I was a whiskey scotch person, and that was the confluence of two things. It was a number of my like strength training, personal training, like clients bringing me bottles of whiskey for birthday and Christmas.
Okay.
Paired with learning how to make classic cocktails to woo my lady, because that's what she's into. I used to be a tequila guy, and then
tequila's awesome.
That all happened. So I vowed to drink more tequila. We went to our neighbor's Tyler.
I do know Tyler.
My friend
loved the Kendrick halftime show, by the way.
It's his favorite thing ever.
Loved it.
It was, you know what? He is their target demographic.
Yes.
And by there, I mean Kendrick's. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Anyway, we went over there, had some carne asada and some other like really good food. And I have a bottle. I can't even, what the fuck is it? It's like like the blue and white ceramic tall tequila.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I took it over there, drank it. I'm like, God, this is really good. I need to drink more tequila.
It's expensive.
Anyway, I'm not drinking that right now. I'm having another one of what we had last episode.
Maple bacon bourbon.
Yeah, and it's I think I misspoke and said it was Sink's Sugar Shack.
Yeah. Which
is not accurate. It's Sink's Sugar Camp maple syrup.
It's a camp.
It's
another cult.
So my friend, my former coworker, she referred to the place as the Sugar House where they make it. I think I conflated House and Shack from Jimmie's Chicken Shack, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Do they make hot chicken there? That would be cool.
No.
Losers. No, that's what we're drinking.
Also, Clase Azul?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Good job, Google.
Thanks.
That's yummy. Okay.
We're gonna
expensive.
take. We're gonna not take a break because Evil's got something to say.
So I have the Reposado, the Clase Azul Reposado, which is not cheap, but
Same
also,
bottle?
huh?
Is it the same color bottle?
It's
They
the
look
white
very
bottle with the blue sort of.
Crown.
That's a Reposado.
Yeah, it's a Reposado. Yes, it's a Reposado. I don't know. It's 100 and something. It's not like break the bank, but it's also not.
It's
It's not
expensive.
cheap.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get me some añejo because that's what I prefer. No. We're getting into the $500-$600
Okay,
a bottle.
yeah.
Jeez.
And then I look at like some of their special releases because they have like these artisans come in and make like handcrafted bottles for their whiskey.
Uh-huh.
I think there's money laundering involved because these are like $40,000 bottles of tequila. It's
Jeez.
fucking ridiculous.
I think that brand is also very popular with famous people and
Yes.
musicians specifically.
Money laundering.
So
Yeah.
So they want to order, is there a $40,000 bottle of tequila? Because I would like to buy it, please.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. To launder money. We're
Also,
going
it's
to take
good tequila.
It's good tequila. We're going to take a break. Then we're going to do some awards and categories. We are back. It's impressive, Rach. Everybody, do you want to hear a David Crosby Met Award?
Yes.
Well, we already did. Rachel did a review. I don't have
I couldn't
a
find one.
Crosby Met Award. What I do have is the opposite. So there is there's a podcast that I do not like. So I'm not going to say the name of it. But I don't like the concept. Maybe I'll edit this out. I don't like the concept because the whole concept is to just shit on albums. Just talk about how bad albums suck. And that's it. But they did this album and
Didn't shit on it.
no.
Hmm.
Find out why we believe they deserve a top spot in your music collection. We dig deeper into the writing of Jimmie Haha. We've only been fan for 3 weeks, but they've been the best 3 weeks of our lives. So this podcast that they shit on albums picked this to shit on and fucking loved it. So
Yeah, they should.
it's an Oppo Crosby Meh Award for bad reviews.
I love the name of this podcast.
All your
I wanna
favorite
know.
bands suck. Yeah.
Is that the name of it?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
a fan. I love them.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
name.
listened.
It's
Well,
the haters
see, that's
ball.
the thing. Well, that's the thing is I was like, oh, I gotta check this out because I really think that's hilarious. But then the problem is then you start listening and you're like, you fucking jagoffs. Like this album's great. Like what the fuck is your problem? That's what I end up doing. So I shut it off.
You know, if we did this, we would have way more listeners.
Yeah, but I'd be miserable.
Yeah, I
I'd be
know.
so miserable. 70 million Jackson fans can't be wrong. Rachel, what about this album do you think puts you on a small island?
The only thing that I thought that I could pull out of this that other people may not be into
That's what she said?
was the rap at the end of Spiderweb. The last minute of it
Huh?
is amazing.
Oh, you love it.
I really, really enjoyed that.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome. I don't know that it really went that great with,
With the
it.
music?
Would you say that they left a message for you and you called them back?
Yeah,
I get it. Do you get it? I get it.
I got it.
Evil, what
Was-
about you?
It was a deep cut.
It was. Same era.
Right?
A little no doubt in this band, maybe.
A little bit. I would say that everyone who knows about this band is on a small island.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was so hard to find information about the
Yeah.
Yeah, it
the
was.
Their
band
Wikipedia
members,
is
the
a
band.
paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to deep dive on the bass player. Good fucking luck, man.
Yep.
Seriously. Like he has a SoundCloud with a couple of songs posted. They're the same song, but different clips of the same song.
I'll skip that.
Also, lots of reviews were like, this is a highly underrated album.
Yeah.
So did it just come out at the wrong time?
I just think, I think that
Did it? I'm going to let you finish, but
can I finish? Can I finish?
does it suffer from the same chicken boxing that I did to it?
I
Chicken box
It
is
just-
a thing now. I'm gonna make that a thing.
I love it. Keep doing it. I think that they never got past that. You know, the only reason that I got super into them was because even High was on the radio, the reason I got into them was because of that concert. I didn't know who the fuck they were. I didn't care who the fuck
Yeah.
they were.
If he didn't
then I
have
got-
those stupid fucking dreadlocks on that video in a barn, would that have?
know, One of my biggest pet peeves. Actually, I'll give you two of my biggest pet peeves, and because they go with each other. White people in bars that sing redemption song, like bands that cover redemption song, and white dudes with dreadlocks. I think my brother has dreadlocks. I should probably edit that out. Those are two very big pet peeves of mine, and I guess I just needed a guy in front of me fucking rocking out. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't get bigger. I don't think this music, who's one of the most popular bands, but they aren't huge, is Primus. Because it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of like, I'm not saying they're as good as Primus. They're not.
No, but it's same vein.
It's that weirdness that just keeps like, I guarantee you, CEO of whoever on Elton John's label, because it wasn't Elton John, I'm sure, that was like, trying to give this to radio stations. And I'm sure radio stations were like, okay, there's High, but we're not we're not fucking playing like School Bus. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not like, where the fuck am I supposed to? Anyway, I don't know. My 70 Million Jackson fans, his head blew up.
It all makes sense.
Okay.
Rewind to our 1997 episode. This is when they didn't fit into any of the categories.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so they got put into the new metal category because they didn't fit into any of the other ones.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
In a pre-Clear Channel buying all of the fucking radio stations era, they would have been bigger.
It was such a weird, Foo Fighters, very, very basic rock. Fucking Fat of the Land by Prodigy. The Verve. Fucking Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah.
OK Computer, Bjork.
I just wanted to see Jimmy's face.
Song number 2 by Blur. Like there wasn't a place for this.
Yeah.
This
Fucking
was
Ben Folds singing.
Right.
Like one of the most popular songs. What was the Ben Folds abortion song? The Brick, or She's the Brick?
Yeah.
It just wasn't it wasn't a good time for it. I think you're right.
This is right after when everything had to fit into a round peg or octagon hole to be played on the radio.
I agree.
2 years earlier, it would have had a place. 3 years earlier, it would have had a place.
I think one of the reasons that it didn't do better is because his voice is he's too temperate with his voice. He's a little too calm. He doesn't, he's not the front man screaming and flipping out and stuff. He's pretty chill. I love that. And that's what I said. What's love got to do with it? Do you like this band more or less because of the artist? If anything more, just because I like who they are. I like how good they are of musicians. I like the fact that supposedly when these specific 4 people got together and practiced for the first time, they were like, Jimmie had said in an interview, he was like, I knew like right away that we were at least going to be something because of how fucking good they were. But I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to say anything else. I don't want to spoil anything. Rachel, what about you?
As far as bias, like I really didn't know anything. So I feel like I just kind of came in blind.
Do you think because you think they sound so much like a bunch of other stuff that you kind of wrote it off a little bit?
I think that is a good point. I think
so. Maybe if you would have heard them before certain other bands.
If I would have heard them when this came out, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Okay.
But having this now, I could just be like, I could just listen to 311. I could listen to Primus. I could listen to all these other bands that I think are better. Not to say that they're not talented, because I very much understand that they are really great musicians.
Okay. Evil?
Okay, I prejudged listening to this because I had them in that new metal sort of chicken hole. as we have come to call it. I want to pause. I want to read something from
cluck or something
from
every time you say that.
jimmiehaha.com. He has an artist statement. Number one,
He has an
Jimmie
artist
Haha,
statement.
you need a fucking secure socket layer certificate for this site. I can help you. It's not, I don't go to this site. Don't go to jimmiehaha.com. It's not secure currently. I have
Evil, can you help our site first?
no.
Do we have a website?
Shit. Hilarious. Man, walked into that. Here's his artist statement because I read it and I'm like, oh, man, I like you more than I want to after reading this. Jimmie Haha, 1968 through ? In his youth, Jimmie Haha, in parentheses, Jimmy Davies, was a bedwetter and a thumbsucker. He's been peeling the labels off crayons and creating art since he was 3. He spent the last 20 years of his life dodging employment by touring the world with his, this is what got me, multi-aluminum selling rock band, Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Amazing.
He also plays in Jarflies. Multi-aluminum selling is amazing.
Love that.
He is a not so disappointing son, adequate husband, and anxious father. He ekes out a living selling paintings, playing music, and publishing the quarterly art publication Upstart, and that's spelled up.st.art. Annapolis. There's a website for it, upstart-annapolis.com. He recently has embarked on a collaboration with artist Jeff Allen Huntington called Jahahaha Collaborative Art. Jimmie Haha has artist representation from blah, 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 blah. Jimmy likes air, food, comfortable shoes, and the occasional glass of water. Jimmy plays well with others. How do you fucking not like that guy?
Yeah, that's great.
After
That's
that
fantastic.
artist statement, I'm a fan. I'm sold hook, line, and sinker after this. I like that he doesn't take himself seriously. The band has had massive turnover. Like it's not,
Oh, yeah.
it's he's the main guy, obviously. I think the lineup from the era that we're talking about is phenomenal.
Yes.
Question for you guys. Did you listen to their album released last year at all?
No, I gave up. I listened to their album after this one, and then a song, I think, from the one after that. And I'll be honest, I really didn't like anything that I heard that they came out with after this album.
So there was a pretty large break. I think 2028 was sort of like the last 2000 all the way into the year 2000. And then a long pause, and then they put out some singles in 2023 and a full album in 2024.
Okay.
I didn't know. Maybe we can talk about that another time after you've listened to it.
Yeah, I haven't even. They came out with albums
Last year.
Jeez, I'm crow. No, I'll try it.
It's kind of cool. Entirely
That's
different
what
lineup.
it was. I listened to Bring Your Own Stair when it came out. I didn't like it. And then I did listen at some point to Represent in 2004, and I didn't like that either. So I kind of just, look, this is my
Wrote it
Jimmy's
off.
Chicken Shack album. That's how it is.
Got it.
But I'll try it. Did you listen to it? Did you like it?
It's not. Yeah, I didn't give it nearly the
didn't
listen
like
I
it.
did to this, but I'm like, I don't fucking hate this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's worth a listen just to kind of check out if you're a fan. Going back to the actual question, I think I had a massive bias going into this, thinking, new metal bullshit. Why are we
Yeah.
listening to this? And I was pleasantly surprised that wasn't the case.
But here's my question, Mr. Corn Limp Biscuit. Why would it make you mad that it was new metal? You like new metal.
I know. Okay, I listened to a lot of that shit back then. I also listened.
We all did.
I listened to a lot of hair metal back in the day.
Still
But
do.
do you know what I don't listen to? Like the B, C level hair metal bands. I still
Yeah.
listen to the A level hair metal. I love that stuff. Same with the new metal. Like I still kind of guilty pleasure listen to the A level new metal.
What's a C level hair, like Cinderella? What's a C level hair metal band?
Enough's enough. I don't know.
Enough's enough. I remember that.
There's some Enough's enough fans out there going, no,
My God,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I have a cassette cover in my head of it's like black and neon green and purple. Oh my God. It's like a peace sign or something like that.
Yeah, I had that on tape. Yeah, so
Yeah. That's a good call.
Get High on the New Thing that was one of their singles.
Yes. I think my dad got that album the same time. You know, what was Robert Plant came out with an album in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was the best fucking album name. I forgot what damn it. What was the name of the album? It was such a dumb, amazing Now and Zen. Now and Zen by Robert Plant, 1998.
Awkward era. Like the knockoff Poison bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Just
I think I
Unsteady
had
Boppin',
these
right,
guys.
Evil?
There was a lot of knockoff new metal.
Yeah.
I think I had these guys mentally in that category. They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
I don't think they are at all. The DMX Award, Evil, what makes this unique?
Weirdness. Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
The weirdness and the tongue-in-cheek dad joke, the same thing that Primus has. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do some weird shit now. We're gonna play. We're gonna put a little Middle Eastern line in this song.
Yeah.
We're gonna play some reggae here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, fuck it.
Well, and his whole vibe, which is similar to Les Claypool, kind of the yokel,
Yes.
like a little bit of a backwoods West Virginian sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking fun as hell. Rach, what about you?
Yeah, similarly to Jimmie, just kind of the mixture of all of the different sounds and then making it work.
Yeah. I just think that they could have just gone, they could have made a whole album of fucking Dropping Anchor and High.
Sure.
But what they're doing in a lot of the other songs is so much harder.
Yeah.
And it's, and I just like that. I think it's unique for back then. I think they had this this good musician living color fishbone thing that was like, you had to be good at what you were doing to come up with what they were coming up with. We should have just done this whole episode on fucking influences and influences.
I mean, really, that's the fun conversation.
Yes. The Mark Lanigan True Rock Star Award. I'll go because I said what Evil said. It's weird. They're fucking weird. I think that's very rock star to be, shirtless and dreaded and singing about school bus drivers and shit. It's just fucking weird. Rach, what about you?
I said because they fought and broke up. Musicians hate each other. There's a lot of turnover.
His name's Jimmie Haha. That's pretty Mark Lanigan rock star. Yeah. What if that was his real name? That'd be cool. Evil, what do you think? What's your rock star?
I mean, I probably should have read that artist statement in this segment because it kind of, I mean, they're just doing their thing.
I like it.
Yeah, it's tongue in cheek. It is.
The aluminum thing makes me sad though, because I have it on CD, but I don't think I'll ever get this one on vinyl. I don't think they're gonna.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't think they will.
Is that the Dead Sarah album award?
Yeah, that's perfect. Will this come out on vinyl? The answer is probably not. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. I think in its time, I think it was underrated, not because it didn't get enough radio play. I thought it got the right amount of radio play, but because of what was played on the radio, which may be spoilers for anybody that said that like High was my favorite song on the album or that sort of thing. I just think that this wasn't appreciated for its B-sides, really, the uniqueness of their B-sides. It's kind of I haven't heard peep of this until I don't even know how the fuck I remembered this. I don't even know what I saw that was like, holy fuck, Jimmie's Chicken Shack. We need to talk about. Like, I don't know, man. Evil, what about you?
I put maybe properly rated in its time ?
Yeah.
Because I think it has some success.
It did.
And then currently either underrated or just like not applicable because
N.A.
Yeah, so hard to find anything on it. But the stuff that I did find it was like the reviews were like, oh yeah, that album really fucking ruled. The few people, and these weren't like professional reviewers. They were just like, random person on the internet reviews like, oh yeah, that album's super underrated. That was really good. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Bunch of jabronis.
Yeah.
Rach?
Yeah, from what I have gleaned, and also added my own personal opinion to that, is that it was underrated and it's still underrated. And personally, like I said, there's a lot of talent in there. I think it's unfortunate that it kind of got lost within a bunch of other bands that sounded similar but not the same.
Influences and influencees, we've covered a lot of it. I said a lot of mine already, and Chili Peppers, Fishbone, whichever way you want to look at System of a Down, I see a little bit of that in there. Living Color. Any other ones we haven't talked about yet, Evil?
Well, I mean, this is kind of going back to some of what Rachel said about how it sounds like a lot of other things. I'm like, oh, and like straight out of the gate, dropping Anchor, I'm like, oh, this is adjacent to stuff that you hear on Tool's Undertow album.
Yeah, totally.
Hole sounds like a funkier song on a Rage Against the Machine's debut.
Yep. Yeah.
Another Day, I'm like, this, if you rework this slightly, this could be on Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy. This could be a refreshment song.
Yeah, refreshments or Sublime or something like that.
Yes, yeah, right. The one, and that all kind of pulled me back to some early. You said a bunch. Fishbone was a good pull. I said Faith No More earlier.
That's a good one.
Jane's. We've mentioned Jane's Addiction.
The Jane's Addiction. What did you say, Rachel? Jane's Addiction mixed with
Primus.
Yeah, that's really good.
I at one point was like, this is like early Chili Peppers, and I don't know. They're okay. Erase that from memory. I have two polls that we haven't mentioned yet: Helmet's
good,
and Green Jello. I will never call them Green Jelly, but Green Jello because of the weirdness and the fun.
Yes, Green Jelly's a great one. God. That's another one what was the other band that fucking Tripping Daisies. Great God. We got a lot of bands to re-listen to. Any ones that we didn't mention, Rach?
I have nothing to add to that.
Never mind the Bullocks Award. Is it the band's best album? You didn't listen to anything else, did you, Rach?
No. But from what I learned on the internet, it is very popular. Like,
gotta trust the internet. Evil?
I think it's at least their most well-known album. I was surprised that you said that the song from the next album was their biggest hit. Because
if you go to Spotify, it's
not
number one
even on
track.
my radar. So I'm probably wrong with that.
This album is by far their best album.
All right.
To me, by far, like no contest. So it is very much a Nevermind the Bullocks album for me. The John Paul Jones Award. Here's an interesting one, particularly for somebody like Rachel that is very meh and would probably want something to spice this up. We'll go with her last. Evil, what did you say?
So this, I had to think about this one a lot, and I pulled in from some of the influencers, conversation, re-listening to the tracks, and I found something in the track Hull a little bit that pulled into this, and then also the Rage Against the Machine tie-in. I'm with you. I like his vocals. I think it fits the music and the band perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it could be more interesting if there were some layers to the vocals.
Okay.
So pulling from the Green Jello, Green Jelly, pulling from the Rage, pulling from that opening track that reminds me of Undertow. I want some like duets with Maynard on here.
Yeah.
Because how fucking interesting would and he would be up for it because he does weird shit. He's got all of his projects that he does. This is right back then. This would have been right up his alley.
It's like old, like the Pussifer one,
right?
Sort of. Yeah. No, that's a good one. I like that. I have a couple. I think it would be fun to have one song just go full batshit crazy, weird tempos, weird beats, and have Frank Zappa just like do one song with them. Or I love the guitar player I'll save this conversation coming up, but I do wish that the guitar solos, I wish that there was a couple more different bluesy guitar solos on here. So somebody in the 90s like a Steve Vai or somebody like that to come in on a couple songs.
That fits your Zappa tie-in too.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's maybe just give Frank Zappa these songs and just do a Frank Zappa version. And then Rachel would really love it.
You are right.
Rachel, John Paul Jones.
I actually had a similar idea to Jimmie when I said Zach from Rage. I think
De La Rocca.
the only thing that I wanted more of is for it to be a little harder. And I think I would have been more into it then.
That's also what she said.
I know. But I think they play so well together. This was not an easy one to do.
So my favorite song pick for you, which was right, you might say it's not, but it is Whole. And I could totally see Zach being on that song. Totally. Especially 90s Zach. I couldn't really picture current Zach on anything. Maybe a little bit of Run the Jewels, but that's about it. No, dude, seriously. Rachel, what song are you giving to somebody?
You know me. I like to get them hooked. So I said Dropping
You like
Anchor.
to get them high. Oh, Dropping Anchor. Okay.
It was between the two, but yeah.
Sacrificed for could have been a great line. That's okay. Dropping Anchor, because it's the easy peasy to get into.
It's catchy. It's easy. Starts you off soft. Gets you a couple minutes in.
It's just so many of them. That's okay, though. I am the opposite of you, as we all know.
Right.
I said Blood. It's so weird and twangy and bassy and different and low key but heavy, and it gets serious, but it's very primacy in that it's funky and fun, but there's this melancholy about it, kind of, that I just think for a song like, if I turn a song like this on to somebody, you're like, you have to find something in the song that you're into or you will not like this album.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I went with. Evil, what about you?
I think those are both great answers. And if I was trying to get someone to like the album, I would probably start it with track 1 with Dropping Anchor.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to be like, no, check this out. Number 1, I think High is a complete disservice to the album because it was the popular song, and yet it is so non-indicative of the musicianship and what they're capable of.
Agreed.
I picked Whole because every single
Heyo.
member of the band has a moment to shine on that track.
Just ripping.
Yes.
They just rip in that song. It's
And if
2 minutes of greatness.
If you like music, if you're into actual music, you like music, there's something in there that you're going to latch on to and be like, holy fucking shit.
Holy fucking shit. Get it?
Yes.
The John Popper Award for Best Hook. Evil, right back to you.
Unfortunately, it's High. I mean, that's why it was the song on the radio and on MTV.
Yeah.
And I think that is a tragedy here.
Look, that was my answer too. The main riff on High is fucking amazing. Just that bum, 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 na, na, that I played that fucking 14-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever I was, David. Fuck, I played that riff. God, I loved that riff so much. Rach, what about you?
I said Dropping Anchor. It was between Dropping Anchor and High, and it was just that was the one. Those were the ones that were in my head all day long after I stopped listening to the album.
Gotcha. The John Prine Best Lyric Award, our resident lyric lover, Rachel. What'd you say?
I said milk them chickens and pluck them
Pluck
cows.
them cows.
We're the
We're
ones
the
that
ones
gonna
that
fuck
gonna
you now.
Fuck you now. That's what I said too, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
I win.
So good. It's so good. Evil, what about you?
I'm surprised that either of you picked that. That's hilarious.
Fucking line is amazing.
Same song, different lyric. I'm not
Shit.
talking to myself. I'm just the only one who's
The
listening.
only one is
Amazing.
I do have one other line, and that is the very first line of the album, which is "We've all been tied to words that we sink." I think that's fucking great. I love that line. Eddie Van Halen award, Evil. Who and what gets it?
Che Lemon everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Like that, it's the most interesting part of the whole album. Is his bass playing pulls me into every song, at least in some point.
I said the guitar player, I believe his name is Jim.
Jim?
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Jim?
The guitar solo, I rarely do a guitar solo for Eddie Van Halen award, but the guitar solo in High, which then immediately follows an awesome little drum build, but the fucking guitar solo in High is amazing. Now, here's the problem is the only thing that's wrong with that solo is what the guitarist shows his hand a little bit, because there are other songs on the album where he solos like 2 more times and he kind of does the exact same things. So it almost feels like he's a one-trick pony. I'm sure that's not true, but if you're going from track 1 on and the first thing you hear is that guitar solo in High, it's just fucking perfect. It's so fucking, it just rips. Rach?
I said the exact same thing.
It's a great solo, man. Yeah. It's fucking rad. Milk them chickens. Surfer Rosa award, Rach?
I said it was probably too balanced.
Interesting.
There wasn't a really high moment or a really low moment for me. It was kind of all just nice and in the middle.
Your review of this album is yeah. I think they went I think their intention for the 90s was to be very side A heavy, to really, really come at you with a huge side A. And because of that, it blends into making a nice album now, because it's very, some of it is a little bit too much of the times. Some of it I think is amazing no matter what time, but because they went so side A heavy with the 90s stuff, it means that the weird B-side stuff kind of holds a little more true, but I still like the 90s stuff. So it's just, that is a long road to kind of say the exact same thing as Rachel. I don't see any big peaks and valleys on this personally. What about you, Evil?
I don't know if it's balanced. I don't think it's top heavy, or I don't think I think it's weirder in the second half than the front. Yeah. The front is a little more accessible, but I don't think the song quality dips because of that. Spoiler alert. I think my Time of the Life award is like smack in the middle or pretty close.
Okay.
And probably my second least favorite is towards the end. So I feel like each side peters out towards the end a little bit.
I think that's fair. I would agree with that. Let's talk about it, Evil. What is your Time of the Life? What Lifetime award are you giving us?
I feel bad because it's kind of one of the quirkiest songs on the album, and it's track number 6. This Is Not Hell.
This Is Not Hell.
It just doesn't. I like the weird circusy thing that's going on. It doesn't go anywhere for me.
It does. Yeah. I think he just wanted to say I would agree with that.
I mean, there's like heavy parts and stuff, but it just doesn't.
The ending's weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It tries to get serious, but I don't really get it.
And I
don't get it.
I would put Sitting with the Dog as like a number 2 least favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why? You just saying.
I wanted more out of it. I think it had more potential. And it also didn't get over the hump for me.
Gotcha.
But I think it's a better song, for sure. And I think it had better bones. It just didn't flesh it out as much.
Dog bone.
Yeah.
Rachel?
Yeah, I had a very similar answer. I said Sitting with the Dog. And my reasoning for that was that I wanted a little bit more out of it. I felt like it was a little easy, especially compared to other stuff. So.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Yeah.
Mine is Another Day. I do not like the fucking boring reggae. I love reggae, but I'm extremely picky about it. I shouldn't even say I love reggae. I just like Bob Marley. And if it's not Bob Marley, I'm kind of like, And that song is just very boring for me. It's the only song on this album that I'm like, this is boring. I think it's my only skip.
There's something about that track and the guitar tone that reminds me so
Guitar
much
tone's great.
of Brian Blush on the first Refreshments album that I have a soft spot in it because of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the 3 best songs on the album. Rach, why don't you go first?
My number 3 was Spiderweb, and it was entirely because of the back end of it. It was so good and so impressive.
You know what's funny? And I'll because it's not, Spiderwebs isn't on any of my lists.
Yeah.
But the reason that it's not on my top 3 is because of the rap.
See, we're just exactly the opposite.
I'm the
person.
opposite of you. I'm like that. It's weird 90s.
I don't think it fits with the album, but I liked it a lot.
Okay.
So that's why I went. Okay. Number 2. Number 2. This is where it gets very basic bitch. High.
Whatever it takes.
And then Dropping Anchor.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How boring of you.
It's really boring of me. If any of those are, if any songs
Those
off
songs
of this
are great.
album are going to go on my playlist at the end of the year, it's going to be High or it's going to be Dropping Anchor. It's going to be one
They're
of those.
bangers.
Yeah.
They're bangers.
They're bangers.
Evil, what you got?
I have an honorable mention,
Okay.
and it's Whole.
Great song.
Is it the shortest on the album? It is. It's the shortest track on the album. I think it is maybe musically one of, if not the most, they flex on this song.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I also think it suffers because of that. Cause it's like, okay, here's this time. It's like the solos
Really
in a
gonna-
track. And I don't like the intro. It's too simple for it. I don't know.
You don't like him screaming "we"? I think that's great. I
It
think that's fun.
just like that. I don't know. Honorable mention though. It's like almost there.
Yeah, you like it.
Number 3 is Spiderweb. That's
Love rap.
The rap is so good. No, I don't care about the rap. It's just so quirky. The winding riffing and
Great beginning to the song too.
fuck, so good.
The weird guitar shit that's going on.
Great bass. It's just musically interesting. Number 2 is Milk.
Milk's a good one.
Milk is so fucking good. And I think going back to me like pigeonholing them as bad nu metal, this would have been a good nu metal song for me. Like with those harmonics, like the ding ding, like that's very Seven Dust sounding.
Yeah.
The stupid lyrics, which are better than they should be. It grooves. I don't know. I just dig it. And then I'm gonna fight both of you over this song because I don't think it's basic bitch. I think it's a fucking great opening track, and I think it's way more complex than you guys are giving it credit, and it's Dropping Anchor.
Okay.
It's musically very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
There's stuff you don't hear there are note choices that you just don't hear in pop music, in rock music.
Definitely agree.
And it's the one that reminded me of Undertow, that's a compliment, but very different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got the weird, the verse into the chorus, you can hear acoustic guitar. There's a lot of there's dual guitar shit going on.
Yep.
I love his
the bass
voice in
playing
it.
is
of
drives
course
the
great.
whole thing.
Yeah. The build to the end is fucking amazing where he's just yelling Dropping Anchor over and over.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a great track. That's a playlist. Stay list.
Stay list playlist. Oh man, that sounds like a category. That sounds like an ending like stay list play. What songs on your okay. My best 3. So my number 3 is Whole for all the reasons we already talked about. My number 2, I think Jimmie got the wrong impression that I was talking shit when I was saying it was simple. My number 2 is Dropping Anchor. Dropping Anchor's fucking amazing. And I agree. I'll listen to that anytime. My number 1 is where you're both fucking morons. And speaking to what Evil's just saying, there's so much more going on here than you have to sit down and listen, particularly what the guitar is doing. Sitting with the Dog is my favorite song on this album. It's fucking
Really?
amazing. I think the lyrics are. I think there's a lot going on lyrically that's pretty brilliant. Keep in mind, this was in the '90s when the Christian right was a big deal, and he's singing about following a backwards God, sitting with the dog. There's a bunch of weird lyrical stuff going on, but the guitars and the drums and I think it's a fucking amazing song. I love the chorus. I think the chorus is catchy as fuck. Yeah, Sitting with the Dogs is my favorite song on this album. It's been a favorite song of mine since 1997.
I got Jimmy's right.
Oh, playlist, stay list.
Playlist, stay list.
Huh.
Rach, who won the album?
I said I don't know if anyone did.
Calm down.
You, I guess, if I had to pick somebody, because it didn't get popular. Nobody really, no. Nothing came from this except your love of this band.
I said 1997. I think this is one more album in the pocket that reminds us that there was so much weird shit coming out 97 because of the 90s. The fucking, maybe the 90s one. It's just another thing that came out that was cool and different, and I liked it. Evil, who won the album?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Go on.
You don't know? That's, if you don't get it, then yes, no. Explain yourself.
Now, what I really wrote was Deep Divers, and it reminded me of that movie.
That movie with Robert De Niro?
Yeah. Because you have to want to dive into this album at this point in time to get the gold out of it.
So naturally, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yep.
What? I'm probably going to have to edit this out if anybody that's seen that movie. He calls him Cookie through the whole movie. Like it's a derogatory to black people thing. Have you ever heard that?
I've never heard that.
I watched that movie 800 times because it was one of the only movies that we could watch on the carrier. And he calls him Cookie through the whole thing.
Huh. I'm going to have to deep dive that.
Will you please Google on your work
I'm doing it
computer,
right now.
is Cookie a
Cookie.
derogatory name?
The word cookie has been vulgar slang for vagina in the U.S. since 1970.
So he's more calling him a
pussy.
pussy than he is a...
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like an ethnic derogatory.
Well, that's what it seems like in the movie. That's why I said that. That's what they make it seem like. Rate the album. Is this a 10 out of 10? I'll go first. No, Rachel needs to go first.
I think so.
Rachel needs to 5 out of 10 it and we can move on.
I said 6-ish.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Not
That's
for
all right.
me.
Yeah. Evil?
I think this is an even on a scale of a baker's dozen.
That's
Eggs.
a baker's dozen. Okay. What is a baker's dozen? 13?
So it's an 11 of 13.
Okay. That's great.
Pretty
Large
good.
yolks, too.
That's
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I gave a very similar rating in 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely not a 10 out of 10, but it deserves more than a 7. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. And that is Pushing the Salmanilla Envelope by Jimmie's Chicken Shack. Put one on the board for a yay by Evil and a nay by Rachel. And here, I think you guys are going to dig the next 10 out of 10.
What
I
is
really
it?
do.
Would you say stayless playlist for you and I and nay list for Rachel?
And nayless, stayless, naylist for Rachel. Yes. Rachel will never listen to it again. Everybody, thanks for joining us for Jimmie's Chicken Shack. Join us next week when we talk. I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm not even going to tell you.
Do you know? You don't know.
Nope.
You're looking it up right now.
What we're doing is Rachel and I are doing a good old-fashioned album exchange.
Yeah, we are.
That's right. Are you so excited? Evil will be mad when he knows the album. I think he'll be mad when he knows the album I gave you. You're more of a Hives guy than a Franz Ferdinand guy, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No spoilers. No, we can spoil it. I gave her Franz Ferdinand. She gave me Cold War Kids. It's going to be fun.
That will be a good.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. A good chat.
Goddamn straight. Everybody, we love you. Rachel, enjoy work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Enjoy your, I don't know. Is your stomach going to hurt from the McDonald's?
So the quality of food in Europe is exponentially better than here. So there's a lot of things that I could eat over there that I can't eat over here because here it makes me sick. There's a different protein with the cows. So there's
You ate McDonald's tonight. I'm asking about
I
tonight.
thought you were talking about McDonald's because we talked about McDonald's in Spain. To be
Just
fair,
planning your trip to Spain.
again, doesn't matter. Fuck off. My McDonald's is eaten already.
Does your stomach hurt?
No, it's okay. It's just fries. It's fine.
Evil, what are you doing for the rest of the night?
That's a good question.
Well, it's always fun when you don't know.
I don't really know.
Where's the night going to take you?
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to go freeze my balls off at my daughter's soccer
There
practice.
you go.
So,
That sounds like fun.
That's
Yeah.
late to start soccer practice.
and it's
They don't
raining.
care, man.
Well,
They-
she's already there.
Gotcha.
They
Yeah.
practice it all hours of the day.
We love you guys. Go enjoy some Chicken Shack.
This was
Go enjoy some
enjoyable.
Nashville hot chicken,
This
but
was
only
so
if
much
you live
more
in
enjoyable
Nashville.
than I thought it was going to be. So
Boy, we
That's what
love
she
when that
said.
happens.
thanks, but for not.
That is what she
Yeah.
said. Good night and good luck.